Welcome, bro. It's your boy YT-NxtGenIce back with another video. And first, we here with the podcast. We here with everybody, but we gotta start off with the 3, 2, 1 intro.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move.
This is the first ever doing podcast, my first, so don't bash me in the comments about it. I'm here with my boy Cowboy.
You're?
Here with Neo, Excalibur.
Yo, what's going on?
Both of their channels will be linked in the description. Both of their recent videos, if I can do it right and do it correctly without messing it up, will be at the end of this video after the surprise I got for y'all. It's gonna be a very good surprise. Hope y'all stay through. You'll only see it if you watch through the video, unless you skip through the whole video. But please don't do that. Please watch, drop a like and everything. And we're going to start this podcast, man. We're going to start with the first question with Cowboy, man. Cowboy, man, why you started YouTube, man?
What did I? Oh, you're starting with me? Shit. I started my channel like 6-7 months ago, and honestly, I wasn't thinking nothing big of it. And then I met Neo and kind of started collabing with him, and then collabing with a few of my other streamer buddies, and they were telling me all the stuff that they do, and I was like, you know what? I could easily do this with some of the boosted gameplay I have. So I was like, you know what? It's coronavirus. People are down in the dumps. Let's see if I can make people smile and laugh during all this shit. So I started my channel off. And been doing it pretty consistently for the last 6 months now. Even though the channel's been up for 7. But again, that first month I just didn't really get into it like that. So yeah.
Okay,
we are
that's
6
nice.
months later.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I see how many subscribers you got right now. A good amount. About 200, I think. Last time I checked. It'll be up on the screen. It'll be up on the screen. Anyways, Neil, man, why you started YouTube, man? Let the world know.
So, my journey with YouTube has been a long one. I created my channel 11 years ago, actually, in June or July of 2009. So I was a wee little lad back in the day, like 10 years old. And I remember my very first YouTube video I made was a like 30-second webcam video of me talking about something from Wizard 101, which was this like free-to-play RPG game that you could just download on your PC.
Them young boys don't know nothing about that. Them young people don't know nothing about that. I know.
I mean, it's a throwback game.
Yeah, it is. It's a very throwback game. Oh, that's a very throwback game.
It's a very throwback game. I remember at that time I didn't have consoles or anything like that. I might have had a Wii or a DS, but of course I didn't upload any videos like that or gameplay videos. I did webcam videos for a while, albeit inconsistently. So for like the first, I'd say, year or two that I had YouTube, I was uploading videos, and I was getting a decent amount of views back then. Because YouTube was still pretty young. It was like, in 2009, it was like only, 5 years that YouTube was created? 5 years since then. So I was doing a lot of webcam videos. I remember when I did try getting more into the recording gameplay, I tried using Hypercam. And I think you guys all know the style of gameplay videos, how they were back then. It'd be Hypercam with some like rock music playing in the background, and some like intense videos that for no reason. Intense music, but the gameplay was pretty mild. I was trying to do that for a hot minute, and then the PS4 came out in 2013, and at that point I stopped making videos for 2 years already at that point. So somewhere around 2010, 2011, I kind of forgot about YouTube. And then when PlayStation allowed you the option to upload your videos and eventually to stream, I dabbled in it here and there throughout the years, but only really recently did I get back into like streaming consistently. I think ever since August, because up until that point, since the pandemic started, I was studying for a very important exam that I had to take. So I didn't really have time to stream like that, but I had been streaming DBD on and off here and there for like the past year. And ever since then, ever since August up until now, I've been streaming pretty consistently. I want to keep it up, sort of for the same reasons that Cowboy said he created his channel during the pandemic to like provide some positive vibes to the YouTube community. I kind of wanted to do the same thing. And I don't know, we'll see where it goes from here, right? I mean, I met you, Ice, from I think it was Cowboy stream, so that's one thing, right?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah. I
people you
met you,
meet.
and I remember I met Cowboy. I actually met Cowboy on Among Us, which was funny. Me and a whole
Hmm.
bunch of boys was playing some Among Us, and I actually met Cowboy from Among Us. Cause he's like, yo,
Was that the
follow.
glitch game I was in, or was that the other one where I was imposter?
You was imposter, I think, and then there was one that you wasn't imposter. We played a couple of games back to back, but I met you from there, and that was pretty cool. You was like your sub in it ever since. You know, we just been hanging, chilling. You know what I mean? And I just checked up
Oh,
on Neil. I see you had 236 subscribers right now, and Cowboy's not
Yes.
too far behind with 222. Okay, so y'all doing
it
great
ain't a
right now.
competition.
It's not a competition, but y'all doing good
It's
right
not a
now together. You
competition.
know what I mean? You're building slowly but
Yeah.
surely. You know, I'm only at
I
102,
like
so
the
8, I
fact
think.
that all of us small YouTubers can meet up and collaborate and like support each other because you know you can't do it by yourself, right? Like
And you
it's always
can
good to have your homies supporting you and stuff
Yeah, yeah.
and
And
collabing.
honestly, when you do get to that point, like once you hit, I feel like once you hit over 1K in that, like it just gets so chaotic, you know. And I know it's probably gonna get that way for all three of us when we do hit that point eventually, but for now,
One day.
it's at the point where we can like really manage our communities. So I like it, and I like how between the three of us, me and Neo have really created a community, and Neo is starting that community off strong right now over on his channel because
Yeah, yeah, I seen that.
he's
He
still
is.
continuing he's still continuing to live stream. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen things for me outside of YouTube, I am not able to stream, but I can still upload videos in that right now. So, but once I get all situated in new pad and everything, then it's going right back to streaming in
Nice.
that.
Nice.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. And I seen like, and we play a lot of Dead by Daylight together, which is pretty cool. That's our main game we usually play together. And then we
Yes.
having some fun times on it, man. And it's like I see y'all, and I see Neo and Cowboy. I see y'all, y'all fans and stuff. Y'all like interacting with the community more. You know what I mean? Y'all like interacting with a lot of fans, like a lot of y'all fans, a lot of y'all subscribers that you see other YouTubers, I don't know, small or big, that don't do.
See, if you don't mind me interrupting, but that's like the whole
Go
thing of
ahead.
it for me. Like, if you don't interact with those people asking questions, wanting to like, tell you a joke or something, like, what's the point, you know? Like, why are you putting out, like, live content for people? Like, if you go live on a stream, why are you just gonna, like, bluntly ignore them when they're clearly asking you stuff, trying to tell you stuff, and ask you and all this? To me, I feel like it's like a back and forth between the content creator and the viewer. I feel like you gotta put out for them more so than yourself in that whole scenario. And if your personality is cool to them, then they'll like you. So, but it is what it is. It's not a whole like content. I just want to put out good content, in my opinion. So, but I also want to give back to my community as well, which I think you two can agree with.
Yeah, if I could just piggyback off what you were saying, I do agree that when you do stream or upload videos, the whole point of it is entertainment, right? You upload these videos so people can watch it, enjoy themselves. You can give tutorials, just gameplay, stuff like that. And when you stream especially, you are interacting with your community on a pretty, on a live basis. On videos, you just respond to comments. But if nobody comments and you just see the views, it's kind of hard to interact that way with your community. But on streams, it's literally they're asking you stuff or commenting about things, and you answer pretty much in real time. And if you're not going to interact with your community like that, uh, I mean, you could still stream, but it would be tough for you to grow and find subscribers that would want to keep coming back to your content because they're just watching something, and a million other people do that as well. But the fact they're interacting, you're building some kind of a, I don't know,
Relationship.
Yeah,
relationship
yeah.
or providing an environment where you can just chit chat. Like I've always equated streaming as like I'm playing the game and all the people in the chat are like people sitting around me on the couch watching me play in a sense. Now imagine in real life if you're doing that but you're just not answering anybody when they ask you stuff. Like that's very awkward. So I just try to equate it like that. Like we're all just having a good time. Y'all are watching me play. If you're playing with me, even better. Like on DBD and other multiplayer games, we're just all having a good time. I'm just trying to provide a pretty chill environment for everybody to talk, not be shy about everything, just chill out after their tough days or whatever. That's
Okay.
just
It's
my
like
thing.
Okay, I
it's
like
like
that.
a
I like that. Well, I just wanted to
Thank you.
say, like, I just wanted to say, what was you gonna say, Caleb? I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead and finish. I'll let you finish.
kind of going off of what Neo was saying too. That's kind of the whole vibe with streaming, but doing videos like I have been doing and only videos, I feel like I've gotten really disconnected with my community, unfortunately. But that's why I put out the videos that I do. Like I've been putting out Man of Medan, I've been putting out Until Dawn, just as like kind of like a little series compilation thing. Maybe I'll put out some DVD vids of some funny stuff, so that way you guys can still get a laugh out of it here and
Yeah,
there.
yeah, like
But
the Burger King mods you just came out with.
oh God, don't remind me of the abuse I went through. Getting hashback for it, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
these
and
were
like,
the bet rules for the video. So, but
yeah,
anyway, every
my
time someone every time someone comments on a video, I try to reply to it as soon as I can, and then kind of give hints as to what I'm going to be doing next and all that. And I actually did just make a Discord for my viewers as well, and I'll be putting a link for that in my video for this if anyone wants to join. And I'm pretty sure Neo and Ice will put their links for theirs in their videos for this podcast. But
For
yeah,
sure.
I'm trying to keep my community up to date with videos and that because I've noticed my view count go down ever since I stopped streaming, and a lot of the viewers will comment on a video and be like, "You uploaded how many videos?" I have not been getting notifications. It's like what Neos has said before. YouTube has cruddy
yeah,
notifications.
the notifications seem like over the time, it
Nice
seem
save.
like notifications end up going down and stuff like that. And like I like you don't get as much notifications as you used to get because I think a lot of people when they used to get them notifications they used to complain a lot and stuff like that, and so now the YouTube like I guess don't send it to certain people or they messed it up somehow some way.
I know that they tried to fix it by implementing the bell thing, where you could click on the bell and you could choose to receive either all the notifications from the channel, some or none. But even for a lot of my viewers, they tell me, yo, Neo,
They
I have
still
all
don't get it.
notifications set on, and I still barely get any notifications.
Yeah,
And for
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
friends that would tell me, like, hey, can you send me a link to your stream? I would hate having to, like, send links across multiple platforms like text, messenger, stuff like that. So that was kind of the basis for me creating my Discord, because I know originally I've talked about this before. I didn't really want to make a Discord or anything like that until I became bigger as a YouTuber. But for right now, the main focus of the Discord that I created is just so that my subscribers or anybody that's interested in watching my content can receive notifications straight from me and not YouTube about when I stream or upload or any news about my channel. So that way they could be up to date as soon as possible because it's coming straight from me. That's kind of the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
basis of my Discord. And also, I do want to introduce like the whole community vibe to it. That's the whole point of the Discord too. But that's kind of my main objective right now. But it'll grow slowly but surely, as will Cowboys and everybody
Yeah, yeah,
else
that's
do.
for
So
everybody. Like everybody, gotta make their own little thing. But also, I realized like also what I seen in both of y'all, which is pretty cool. I seen Cowboy. Cowboy used to be like a mainly Five Nights at Freddy's channel that I seen. If you look at your like past videos, and you started like branching out to different games over and over, which was
I would
pretty cool.
love I would love to get back into Five Nights, to be honest with you. Um, but the problem is right now, the only way I can play them is off of PS4, and unfortunately, we have not gotten any bug fixes, any updates that we were promised, especially for even though I know Kate Animatronics technically isn't part of FNAF, but the devs for that game did say that that game was going to get an update. Never did. Sister Location never got its update, so I have not returned to it. And I was actually going to stream what is it, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria as like a little comeback just for something, so that way I could get back in touch with my community. because it's been so long, but we have not gotten that on PlayStation. So unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck just doing videos because I would like to get back into it. But Security Breach got pushed back as well, unfortunately. So Five Nights is kind of on the channel right now. So I've been just trying to put out games that I like and that I think the community would like. They're a little older games. They're not as new. And I know the PS5 just came out, but I still feel like a lot of the games that I put on my channel are like really lower title games, and I always found those more entertaining than like bigger title games. Like if you think about it, Neo, no disrespect, Cyberpunk, in my opinion, just experiencing it, playing it on my laptop and on an actual really good PC, buggier in hell. Even buggier than Skyrim was. What's another title that let me down? Anthem. That was another big title that I followed for
Yeah,
years.
Anthem wasn't really nice.
Anthem's
When
a
I played
throwback.
it, yeah, it's a throwback. I didn't really.
See, but
Oh,
Anthem had such great gameplay, but there was no storyline, there was no character development, there was no nothing. With smaller titles like I like to play, like Until Dawn, even Hellblade, Detroit Become Human, those are really small titles, I feel like. And I feel like those kind of gameplays are way better. Even horror games that I've been doing, like Layers of Fear, that went in so in depth with character development in a horror game. I was like, holy crap. So
it was
I've
nice.
just always
Oh, for people out there who don't know what games we're talking about, like if you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy is essentially the game Five Nights at Freddy is essentially where you have to survive 5 nights and you're a security guard that's in a pizzeria, and it's basically haunt there's kids that died by a dude named called the Purple Man that had killed them. And you literally have to survive them 5 nights. There's a whole storyline behind to it. I can get into the storyline, but it'll take hours. And there's a whole bunch of storyline. I'll probably do a separate video on that.
the story
But
is completely changing with Security Breach.
yeah,
So good luck with
and then
that.
there's a new story now. It's changing. Like there's a story from I'm gonna do it from front to beginning, but now there's a new game, Five Nights at Freddy's game that's gonna be coming out. I don't know soon or later, but it's coming out 2021, obviously. It's called Security Breach, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and there'll be a picture on the screen right now. Let me show you what it looks like. But yeah, it's whole bunch. It's gonna change the whole aspect of Five Nights at Freddy's right now. And I like that. Just like how zombies, Call of Duty zombies, when they came out with Cold War, the zombies in Cold War, it changed the whole aspect of all the other there's different storylines in zombies. There's like three different dimensions, I think, of
I
zombies.
think there's like 4 or so right now.
There are multiple. There's
Because
multiple storylines overall.
there's premise,
There's Ether, then there's
Ultimus,
Transit.
Ether.
Transit
Yeah,
Crew.
there's a lot of storylines that overlap and like connect, disconnect, stuff like that. Call of Duty isn't necessarily the best with their zombie storylines because they all kind of they all kind of overlap each other,
Yeah,
and it can be very confusing at the same time because you think a storyline is over, but then it's not. And Cold War is still new. I don't think the first DLC's even come out for it yet, if I'm not mistaken.
Not yet, no.
And,
The Easter egg for Cold War was garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was garbage, man.
The first map on Cold War is good. I haven't really been hype about a zombies game since Black Ops 3, and while I am cautiously optimistic to see where Cold War goes, the first map was very basic. They just took Nocturne and Totem, which was the very first zombies map, and they just kind of built around it and allowed you to explore outside and stuff.
They built a lab and stuff like that.
Yeah, an underground laboratory and all that stuff. So I'd say for right now, they're trying to cater to both new and old players, like veterans and noobs and all that. But eventually, I think they are going to try to delve more into some kind of a new storyline that is loosely associated with the older Call of Duty games to give a little bit of familiarity, while also allowing the chance for there to be some kind of new elements in play here. I used to stream Black Ops 3 Zombies actually back in the day. Again, not consistently, but like Black Ops 3, I really liked streaming it and making videos about it. It was very fun back then. Nowadays, I guess my focus is on other games. But I think if Cold War can really win over my interest again, I'll definitely be playing it on my channel a lot more.
Okay, okay. I get you on that. That is true and stuff like that. Okay. So we'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see where Five Nights at Freddy's and Cold War, the two biggest games that we actually like know about, is how it's gonna play out. Cause that's gonna be interesting.
I wanted to say also, even though I'm not an avid Five Nights at Freddy's player, I do like the sense that compared to the first game and what the new game is going to be when it comes out, it's really grown a lot. Because the first game, I think there was not that many story elements to it, but the
Yeah,
fact
it
that because of how successful it was, it managed to become
You gotta you
yeah,
gotta
it
big
think
was.
thing
five.
with the whole mythology, with the whole.
Sorry, Ice, my bad.
No, you good. I gotta say, Five Nights at Freddy's, like the beginning, like the very start, it was actually a smaller
Mhm.
game that no one thought was gonna blow up into this big community and storyline that we got
Yeah.
today. Cause it was a
Mhm.
small little game that Scott Cawthon just like, let's see how it goes. Cause you know it also is a book. You know what I mean? There's also books behind it. Now, if
Oh,
you read the
I didn't know that.
books, you'll know more and in-depth detail of certain things in the storyline.
The
I
book
haven't.
started coming
Mhm.
out. The book started coming out after Five Nights at Freddy's 4. But you got to think, like, from a little indie game that one guy created himself to have alongside the PS5 announcements with other AAA games. That was such a moment for me
Yeah, yeah,
because I've been playing Five Nights for ever. I played fan made ones that I thought were the actual ones because I really didn't get into Five Nights till I started my channel up, and then the community started telling me the storyline for it, started telling me to look stuff up, and I did. And it's actually really amazing to have played all these games so far, from it just being like just a couple controls to being able to move around, and then seeing the trailer for Security Breach, seeing how massive, massive this game is going to be. It's going to be astonishing to actually get my hands on Security Breach.
yeah. And
But
what most
another thing
people.
too.
Oh, go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
Okay, another thing too is even though Security Breach is postponed, it's partially because of the coronavirus, COVID-19 right now, but it is also because Scott still cares about these games a lot and he cares about the community that he has grown with these. And the devs for the game told him straight up that all the stuff that he wanted in the game will not be out when the game is released. So he said, hold off. The community will wait. And sure enough, we're all sitting back in our chair on the edge of our seats waiting for that announcement, that next announcement when he says it's a go. But
That is true.
it should drop sometime 2021, I believe.
Yeah. I think, but before I continue on, I just wanted to say to all the people out there about the coronavirus and stuff like that. Rest in peace to all the people who have died, who have fellow men, like who had family who died, who had like disease everywhere, who had strong, like you know what I mean, negative stuff happen to them. Who had just to tell you, bro, 2021 is gonna be a greater year. Keep going through, pushing it. Rely on people that you love. Rely on people to trust me. Praying God, God will lead you the right way. All right, moving on. But yeah, most people don't know about the Five Nights at Freddy's is that Fred, like it all started from Fred Bill's Family Diner, and started from Freddy's Fazbear Pizza. That's the second restaurant they opened. Actually started from Fred Beer's Family Diner. That most people don't know about. You know what I mean? Because the first game was you around Fred Beer's Fazbear's Pizza. You know what I mean? Because that's when it started actually happening. You catch what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
but it had started from Fredbear's Family Diner where William Afton and Henry, you know, those two people who owns it, actually started this, and it was such a big, you know, franchise that they came out with another one, and then who is it? Is it William Afton that killed? What's his name? The purple guy? I believe it's
I
William.
think so.
William Afton, who was named the purple guy, killed 4 kids and stuffed them into the animatronics, and their souls has haunted the animatronics, pretty much. And they basically like you gotta survive, or they're gonna stuff you into a suit, which is made of metal, sharp metal, wires, and a bunch of other stuff that will kill you, cause they are spring locks. You know what I mean? But yeah, so it was tough. It was tough. But yeah, I can't wait till Security Breach come out, cause it's supposed to It's supposed to be like a whole. It's gonna do a 180, cause you're not in no pizzeria no more. You're in
No.
like a mall.
You're in a
Yeah.
gigantic mall, and it's insane just seeing how much the game has evolved from the first one. Because ended up seeing like this comparison video from just the trailer of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and then the very first one that came out to us over a decade now ago. So
Yeah,
it's
how
really
big it
evolved.
expanded. Yeah, it did. Yeah, for sure. It involved big time. Now you like the only thing I don't know about breach, like security breach, that there's a lot of rumors. Like, is it gonna be free roam? Is it gonna be certain
It's gonna
sections?
be
Like, is it
it's gonna
is it like I don't know, cause it's not gonna be different nights because obviously you're gonna be there for most likely one night because it's a mall, unless it's shut out for summer break or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Cause if
It's
it's a
supposed to be like a mixture of free roam and being locked in one area, trying to figure out puzzles, just like the other ones were. You had to figure out
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
try to survive the animatronic attacks. So, but
Okay.
we'll definitely see how it is. I'm definitely PS4 or PS5, so doing a second stream on it just because I'll probably eventually get that P5
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I get that. I get that. All right, let's move on.
For sure.
Let's move on to the topic. I know my bad for cutting out off. If you have anything else you want to say about it, just let me know. The new games are coming out. There's a lot of new games coming out. A lot
Ooh,
for
where
the
do I start?
P4, P5. Cause like you got, I know Cowboy was telling me earlier, you got some new games coming out. I know that one game, the Dark Pictures should be coming out 2021 sometime. I think. House of Ashes. How what's it called?
The House of Ashes.
The
Now,
House of Ashes.
if you guys have been keeping up with my channel, you guys already know that I've already been putting out episodes for Until Dawn, Man of Medan, and I'm pretty sure you guys can tell what's going to be next. And I'm going to put a little spoiler as to what the next video game is, if you guys don't know, in the last episode to Man of Medan, which will be dropping this Friday. So definitely give that a check out if you
Yeah,
guys want.
his channel will be linked in the
Um,
description. Check it out.
But House of Ashes will be the next Dark Pictures game to come out in 2021, and it looks it looks
It looks
insane.
incredible. Like it would look crazy, man. It look like they're in a tomb though. Also, like in some kind of cave. If y'all would like if y'all play it, y'all see about it. Spoiler alert. But y'all see about it and stuff like that. About it'll give you a little teaser on it, which is really cool. So go check out his channel. You'll see all that. And then what other new games we got? Back Full of Blood is coming out. I don't know if it's coming out for PlayStation or not.
Back for Blood, actually, yeah. I remember one of my subscribers was telling me about it. I might actually get that game.
Yeah, it
It
looks like
seems
a
very
good game.
interesting.
It's like a left. The people who made Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 made that game, so that's why it looks
Exactly.
so
That's
similar
what
on it.
You
that's
know
what
what
drew
the
my
game
attention to. I was like, oh yeah, that actually, if it's those developers and all that, that might be a good game. That might be.
I've already tried out the alpha for Back for Blood. It's really good. Just as an alpha, I can't give too much feedback on it just because it is an alpha, obviously.
Yeah.
But from the little bit I did play it off of Steam, or not Steam, on my PC, it was really good. Like, I got into it, but the gameplay to me, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a first-person version of World War Z, but that was still a good game in itself. I feel like that was a really underrated zombie game, but it was a
World War
very
Z,
short one.
yeah, it was very short, and it like the storyline. I feel like the storyline with it, if they would have made the storyline like to all three connected, all the four missions connected somehow, I think it would have been very good. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. The game based itself off of the gameplay wise, based itself off of the movie, and then the whole story behind them being in Tokyo, Moscow, um, Paris, Tokyo, all those places was off of the books that was for World War Z. That's how the movie was made, and then the movie started off the game. So the book started off the movie, then the movie started off the video game. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would agree with you guys. I think more so what Ice was saying was that the game, it was interesting, definitely, the campaign for the game, playing in all the various areas and the new gameplay mechanics that they had, like that they brought in from the movie and the books with the zombies, like stacking on top of each other and stuff like that. I didn't really see too often in other zombie games, which made it unique, which was nice. After the campaign, though, the game kind of fell off for me because now the multiplayer was fun, but it didn't provide me with really enough replayability for me to keep playing the game. So once I just rushed through the campaign because I was so excited and like attached to it, and then once that finished, I just stopped playing it. The game did kind of give me a Left 4 Dead vibe in a sense that, like, you're in a spot, you have to travel to these different locations, do these objectives, you have all these options of weapons and like turrets and gates and electric traps that you could use. That all gave me a Left 4 Dead vibe, and I liked that. But again, the game was just too short. I felt like they did start adding DLCs and stuff later on, but
Almost a
it
year
didn't.
after it came out, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Exactly, that's the thing. So it didn't really draw me back into it like that. If they expand on it, maybe come out with maybe another game or something else, maybe I'll give it another shot. But for right now, I'd say for this year, since we're talking about all these new and upcoming games that weren't mentioned yet, there are 3 games right off the top of my head I'm thinking of that I'd be really excited to play and stream for you guys, which is Resident Evil 8 Village, Deathloop, and God of War 5, Ragnarok. All 3 of those games, 2 of them are pretty big titles, and I think Deathloop is smaller. I'm really excited to play all 3 of those games. From my understanding, Deathloop comes out in May of this year, and Resident Evil 8 might come out in April, but that's that's just kind of a rumored date. So I can't wait to play all of those games. I think the only game I've really played so far that I quote unquote like is PS5 ready like that would be Spider-Man, because Cyberpunk, there is no PS5 version for it yet. They didn't release it with a PS5 version, and I guess also I could throw in Assassin's Creed as well. Call of Duty, while they do have a PS5 and a PS4 version, the difference wasn't too astounding for me because for a long time I was accidentally playing on the PS4 version. And when I did eventually get to the PS5, it was pretty much exactly the same, everything, except maybe things just looked a little bit better, but I had to turn ray tracing off because it was causing a bit of frame rate issues.
Yeah.
But otherwise, those 3 games I'm very excited for. I recently got into playing the Resident Evil games. I streamed those on my channel as well if you guys kept up with it. It was like I have Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7. Because those were like the more modern ones. I've played Resident Evil Remastered, the very first game, the one with the like I forgot what the term for it is, like the stuck camera angles where like you can't really, the camera doesn't follow you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you're playing the game in a third person perspective, but not in the third person way you would play like World War Z. It's in a different kind of format.
And what I want to step in real
yeah.
quick on that God of War, the new God of War Ragnarok that's coming out. If you actually seen the picture, that will be coming up. Like, the picture will be on the screen right now. But if you actually see the picture, like, yo, it's crazy, man. The last God of War, what? Atreus, I think his name is Atreus. Whatever his name is.
Atreus.
I call him Boy.
Jinx.
That's how he called him. I'm real poor. But yeah, it seems like it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy because you've seen sometime in that, if you played it all the way through, you've seen that Arceus has his powers. You know what I mean? That
Atreus, yes.
Atreus that has his powers. We haven't played
I'm
the game.
surprised though that the game. I'm surprised that the game
long.
is coming out so soon though, because God of War 4 came out in 2018, and now for the new one to come out in 2021. Because before that, God of War 3 came out like 8 years before God of War 4. So the fact that they're really, like, I guess, quote-unquote, fast-tracking this new game, even though it did take them 3 years, I was really surprised when they announced it, because I really hadn't heard anything about it, besides that it was going to get made.
It was out of the blue. It was out of the clue, too.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
That was the whole great thing about the PS5 reveal, is they kept a lot of those games on the hush-hush, like Demon Souls being one of them, which I'm looking forward to getting my hands on. Who?
Demon Souls, yes.
But no, like if you think about it, like it's like you said, like it took them 8 years from 3 to 4 for God of War. But you got to think, here's Assassin's Creed. They were working on Odyssey before they were working on Origins, so maybe the whole dev team was doing the same thing with the new God of War series. Because you got to think, like Kratos was just back in Greek time. He was just beating the hell out of everyone way back in the day. During
Yeah.
his era, he killed his father. He killed everyone. He didn't give a shit. He's like, you disrespect me, you dead.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
for them,
yeah.
for them to just go from him doing that to finally getting that revenge and basically restarting the entire world and then having his own son in 4 was something different for me. Like I had my doubts about it with a lot of other big titles that came out during the same time God of War 4 did. I was
Mhm.
really hesitant. I've never after Anthem and a few other games, they really let me down. So I always look forward to the little titles because you know the little titles will always put in that
What surprised
good
me about God of War that I seen, you see, like you said, how they from the beginning it was like, yo, he don't care, he'll kill anybody, everybody. But then throughout the years of God of War, how it changed to him like starting to care, like his mood started changing, how he started changing inside as a person to having a son.
Because
he
the
started
game
repenting
made
for
him
all
a
the stuff
father
that he did.
figure. Yeah, the game made him a father figure, so he was basically forced to confront his past because he obviously doesn't want Atreus to be like how he was back then. So he's trying to like teach Atreus the way, but the right way, but also sort of like checking himself now. You know, like he has to. He made. I mean, mistakes or not, he did what he did, and now he just has to like live the rest of his life with this reputation, and also making sure that his son has a better life than he did, and also making sure that because there's this whole cycle about like sons killing their fathers, so he doesn't want that to happen as
I don't
well.
think any father would.
And then
Well,
and then
exactly. It's inevitable, right? If it's like prophesized or whatever. But I think definitely the fact that they made Kratos a father figure was the number one thing that made him become different. Him
yeah.
having a kid, because now it's different. You're not just killing everybody. Now you have to watch somebody else's back too.
And
Someone
then
that's weaker than
and
you and
then
all
the
that.
ending
So.
of God of War, like the biggest
Oh,
cliffhanger yet, bro.
yes, yes.
Sorry,
That was
That
spoiler
one
alert,
brutal.
got
y'all.
me.
Spoiler alert here. But the ending of God of War, they looked at this thing, and Atreus' real name, or that his mother wanted to call him, is Loki.
Loki.
Bro,
Now,
bro.
if
I
you
was
think
so
about it,
geeked when
as
I
you
heard
can
that.
see, Loki, you know, all of Loki's like, you see how he is with the Avengers and all that. With Loki, you see the portrait that
Oh
Loki
shit.
has been, and the chase is called Loki, and you would never have thought that at all throughout the
I
whole
just
game.
wonder how that fits into the game though, because Loki is supposed to be the adopted son of Odin, and he's supposed to be a frost giant in like the mythology or whatever. And in the game, he is half giant because his mom is a giant,
Hmm.
his widowed mother. But now what I was immediately thinking of is that if that's Loki, like the Loki we know historically, how is he gonna relate with Thor and Odin? Like, how's their relationship gonna play out, you know?
Thor, like in the
See,
game,
here's
as you see in the game, my bad, Cowboy, but as you see in the
no,
game,
you're
if
good.
you actually just seen it, if you was there when Thor was like keeping Kratos down, he's told Atreus like, yo, I'm your brother, your step brother, your brother. If you act like he told him, I'm your brother, and you know what I mean. But Atreus never
In
knew.
the
Atreus, aka Loki, never knew that he had a brother, and Thor is his stepbrother or brother, as you can say. And that's
mhm.
how I feel like. I feel like, and you see, as you seen Thor, you seen the very much. How should I say this? You seen the ending of it with the dream
Yes,
Where
that
Thor
Kratos
just
had
comes
had.
barging in.
Thor just comes barging in. That I feel like in God and the screenshot of the like, I guess the cover of God of War Ragnarok is gonna be based on that dream, like on that in Loki. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
yeah.
if it stays,
If
hold on, if it stays right here. No, say what you want to say, Cowboy.
no, keep going.
As it says, Ragnarok means Ragnarok. In Norse, Ragnarok is a series of events, including a great battle, foretold to lead to the death of a number of great figures, including the gods Odin, Thor, and some others that I can't see. Odin
Yeah.
Thor, Tyre, Fear, and Jaime Dollar, and Loki.
Tyr, Freya, I think all these
Tyr,
people. I'm not sure.
Freya, and Jaime Dollar, and wherever that I don't know how to say, and Loki.
Heimdall,
Yeah.
and Loki. Yeah, yeah.
So in
Okay.
Ragnarok, this is just rumors. This is what I'm seeing online of what Ragnarok means. So why I think in Ragnarok, this might get estimated. Ragnarok, there's gonna be a great battle at the end. That something's gonna happen. That Loki, or Kratos might die. Loki, or we might be taking the role of usually like they did for Last of Us. How we take the role of the kid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they
That
did
was
for
the
the
whole
Walking
vibe that-
Dead. They did for
That's the
like
whole-
Clementine. We take the my bad. Like they did for Clementine, we take the role of the kids. This new guy, or we might take the role of Kratos for like a one part, but then we might take the role of Loki or Atreus.
Okay. Okay. But wouldn't there maybe have to be some kind of a time skip for that to happen? Because we're not going to play as the kid. I mean, maybe we will, like, play
I
as the
get
little
that.
kid, like how you
I
would
feel
play
like
as...
I feel like if anything, what they'll do is Thor's gonna come in, Ragnarok's gonna start. We might end up losing one of the biggest game figures in gaming history, Kratos, and then what might happen is kind of like what Ice was saying, is we might get like a Last of Us 2 kind of vibe where we play as Atreus, and I'm pretty sure this is what's gonna happen. Is Thor is gonna come in, tell him I'm your brother, your half brother. Atreus is gonna betray Kratos, killing him, and then we're gonna play as Atreus in probably what will be the sixth God of War game in the series.
But I feel like
I
I feel like I get
Thor-
that, Cowboy. I like that, but I feel like we're gonna be playing as Atreus from the start. I feel like it is, and the fact that Thor came in and basically beat up Kratos in his dream. I feel like cause Kratos is obviously getting weak. Slowly but surely, he's getting weaker and weaker throughout the years.
He's getting weaker, but that's the thing is I never saw Thor come in and I never saw that epic showdown between
I'm
Thor
only-
and Kratos.
No,
I
that
only
was
saw-
not Thor.
only
Kratos.
going
That's
off the
somebody. That's my
game,
fault.
though.
That's my fault. That's my fault. That's not Thor that came and beat up Kratos. It was
Oh, Baldur, you mean Baldur, right?
Came and
Baldur?
beat up Kratos. Even though Kratos got the best of him, still won that battle. He still beat him up pretty bad.
The stranger. Yeah, oh, that's the very beginning of the very beginning
very
of the
beginning.
game you're mentioning.
Yeah, but if you guys
yeah,
remember
yeah.
the end, if you guys remember the end to God of War 4,
Did he yell Kratos like Kratos or something? Tell him to come outside or something.
some that come outside, and then there's a stranger holding what looks like Thor's hammer.
Hammer,
at the
yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
end with lightning
That's the
around it.
dream that it, yeah.
Hey Neo, I'm talking
but
about
we
your.
never saw a fight. We
Yeah,
never
that's
saw a
right. That's
fight
right.
At the end of the game.
But I feel like
Yeah,
Neo,
yeah.
on your time skip, God of War is known for time. So you got to realize. You see where God of War 3 came from, right?
Yeah,
The God of War
I've seen
3
that.
left. There was a huge time skip to God of War 4.
So, from what I remember from the game, like, this is just me going off the game and just history. So, Atreus' dream, or like that premonition of that confrontation between them and Thor at the end of the post-credit scene of God of War 4, that happened 3 years after they came back, like at the end of the game. And so I think that the game, I think obviously God of War 5 is going to start off with that, but I don't think Ragnarok is going to start like right then and there. Like how do I say this? Like it'll be like very slow throughout the game. Like
I feel like it will
there's
build
going
up
to
to
be
it.
it's going to that's what I'm saying. Like it's going to build up and then there's going to be some kind of epic final battle because if you guys remember, Freya doesn't like Kratos right now because she murdered her son. And then Odin and Thor throughout God of War 4 have been portrayed as kind of like a-holes, you know, like they're not good people, even though historically Thor and Odin were always seen as like good gods and gods that like care about their people. But in this game specifically, they're all kind of seen as bad people, Thor and Odin. So obviously, I assume Thor and eventually Odin are going to be like the main big bads of God of War 5, and Kratos and Atreus. The thing is also, Kratos also foresaw his own death at the very end of the game, so I don't know, there's a lot of things that has to be factored in properly, and when and how Kratos passes, maybe that's all kind of up in the air, but I do think if we are to play as Atreus, like you guys are I guess theorizing, because we don't know for sure, there would definitely have to be some kind of a time skip where Atreus is older, But then again, how this all factors into Ragnarok happening, that would mean that Ragnarok would be happening very slowly if we factor in a time skip in the game. So
It's gonna
we'll
have to
have
be
to
a
see
time
what
skip
happens.
because Atreus is he's too childish. He's not mature. You feel me?
This is true.
He does before he thinks in
Yeah,
everything.
but throughout the game, obviously he's learning to mature, like to mature fast from Kratos. Because at the beginning of the game, Kratos didn't even want to go on that whole journey to, spread his mother's ashes. He wanted to do that later, but he was kind of forced into it because Baldur came and just like pulled up and beat up Kratos
Yeah,
and stuff. So
Either way, I'm looking forward to God of War. It's going to be on probably all of our channels when it does come
I'm
out.
so
I'm so
hyped for
stoked.
it. Yeah, 100%.
So,
And now going on for the last topic of this podcast. Fortunately, yes, last topic. No, there will be more podcasts in the future. Last topic is the new Dead by Daylight update with the twins. How y'all feel about that?
it's
Cowboy.
underwhelming. It's really underwhelming.
You just went shorter. Okay, my first thoughts on it, like it was at the beginning. My thing with Dead by Daylight is that I don't like to complain about games because it just kind of gets nobody anywhere. But they seem to just keep throwing DLCs at us every couple of months, and they're not really fixing a lot of the core issues with the game. And this is just my hot take on it. The twins are fine, but in my opinion, they had just released like Blight and Deathslinger, and I think those killers are perfectly fine. And twins, in my opinion, they don't really offer anything unique besides the fact that you can play as two people. But the thing is, just that being unique is not enough, because at the end of the day, both of them play as an M1 killer, and there's no unique abilities between any of them besides maybe little things like Victor, the little conjoined twin that you can play as, can jump over pallets. And when he opens up a locker, you can't escape for 10 seconds. All of these things are not unique enough to make the twins like a standalone killer. You know what I mean? Like people played them a lot in the beginning, but I still like, as of today, for example, I've played against maybe one twins in the past week, and that's why I think overall they need to take their time with releasing these killers, because I want them to release good killers with good perks that have unique powers, because lately I feel like all of these killers they're releasing all kind of do the same thing, in a sense.
What I feel like,
maybe,
I get you.
Maybe with the exception of Pyramid Head. Maybe.
I get you, but you gotta realize, like, what it looks like. It looks like these killers, like, they're taking two main killers that they already have and just combining their power. You gotta think about it like Blight. What Blight is like a chainsaw and who else? Like another person.
Nurse.
So you're saying he has like a Billy type of ability, and like, yeah.
Let me chime in real quick. So what the devs do is they have a timetable of when they want to do all of this stuff. It's every 3 months that we get a new chapter. All right, we always get the PTB on PC over there, and then it's put out for us, right? But it's literally like what you both just said. Like every killer that's come out has felt like something relevant already in the game. Blight feels a little different. He feels like a reverse Nurse, just with Billy's abilities. Deathslinger, in my opinion, was something new to the game, because everyone wanted something like first-person shooter in Dead by Daylight. And as for bug issues, I will never compliment the game, in my opinion, on my channel. I will never compliment the game, because the devs have had 5 years to fix issues that have been in the game since the very beginning, and they choose not to do it. Instead, it's you either get this DLC or you buy this new skin, and that's it. You're giving us money for a new DLC, but no bug updates. Even when they had their dedicated servers come out, it was good for like the first month that dedicated servers were out, and now with every update, it's like bringing back old and new bug issues into the game, in my opinion. Like, Oni felt like an original killer. There's bugs from Oni's DLC that are still in the game. There's bugs from when Pyramid Head came out that are still in the game. So
Yeah.
How I feel is like if Dead by Daylight did with Rainbow, Rainbow Six Siege, they come out with another every character, like a new character every time like their little pro league thing is done. But every character in that game is unique to a certain thing. You know what I mean? They're not the same in any
Mhm.
way. They're always unique
I
in
think that's
some kind of
also
way.
I I I can actually compliment Dead by Daylight on a couple of things, but I have more complaints than compliments. But what I like
that's
that Dead by Daylight is doing, I think there are three things, and I don't remember one of them right now. But one of them is the fact that they're reworking a lot of the maps and they're updating them graphically to like actually look, with the power of the new consoles and stuff like that. They're allowing the maps to look a lot better than before because, the game came out 2016 or something like that, and a lot of the original maps are getting updated now. Most of them I like, with the exception of Autohaven, but I like the direction they're going with trying to remaster all of these maps. I also like the fact that they have content to release, of course. I like the content that they release. What I don't like is that they're trying to release it as a way to distract us from our complaining of issues. And they're also releasing it way too frequently, in my opinion. If they would just take more time to make the killers or survivors even more unique, because when you play survivors are even worse in diversity than killers, because killers have powers even if you don't have any perks or add-ons. But survivors, if you have no perks or add-ons, they are literally all the same, with the exception of like the female models maybe have a smaller hitbox because they're physically smaller, but all the survivors are exactly the same, and there's no uniqueness to any of them besides
Yeah.
cosmetics.
I like what I
So
feel like. What I feel like if the devs, obviously we all know the survivors like basically in purgatory right now, and with the entity and all
yeah.
that. But I feel like if the devs will actually release killers and survivors that people that the community want, it would be much more blown. Like if they, I bet
but
you if
that's the
they added Five Nights at Freddy's or Mr. X in there, you're having Resident Evil community members and Five Nights at Freddy's community members coming into Dead by Daylight, which will grow
here.
it up even more.
See, but that's
Add,
the whole thing. I'm gonna chime in real quick. That's the whole thing behind all their licensing. Because if you think about it, it's hard for anyone to get licensing for anything nowadays because of what happened with the Friday the 13th game and then the Friday the 13th franchise. Like, everyone's just taking all their stuff and holding it for themselves at this point. I'll give the devs
Yeah.
this. They do work around getting licensing for stuff, and they do work on it. Like right now, I know for a fact that they're working on 2 licenses right now, and I have no
Hmm.
clue what they are. Don't ask me down in the comments below on any of our videos for this podcast. I have no clue,
Me
but
neither.
I know they're working on a couple more. But the problem is with Five Nights at Freddy's, with a new game coming out, why would they try to get that license? Scott's going to be set with just Security Breach by itself. As for other killers like um, Slenderman and Siren Head, we'll never see them in the game. And we'll probably never see Chucky in the game. Be happy with Victor, you guys. Please be happy.
Yeah, Victor is like our discount Chucky, pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly. But
the store Chucky.
another thing to go, basically graphically updating the game, but the problem is they're not fine-tuning it. You notice as Survivor or
Yeah.
as Killer that you get stuck on literally a flat surface in that, and they're not fixing it. They're putting in hot fixes for old stuff, but they're not just giving us a big update like most games do to actually benefit and make the longevity of the game good. They're just throwing in skins, battle passes. They're giving us basically reruns of the same content that we've already gotten. Like, if you think about it, Victor is kind of like a mini Demogorgon. They both lunge. That's it, you know? And
Exactly.
then they gotta do something. I feel like for the game, give us maybe different game modes for it. I feel like that'd be interesting. Like maybe a 2 to 6, even 8 Survivor games. That'd be cool, you
That
know?
would be so fun.
That really would, because right now I find it very dull to play Dead by Daylight on either side. Either people are too good at the game and gens will be done within 2 minutes, or you're all slugged and you're all just dead. by an A1 killer, you know? To me, that's just not fun. You know, I feel like they need to add more. I like the direction that they are going with in the game with reworking maps, reworking perks, all of that. But it's like what Neo said, killers and survivors all they even with the powers for killer, they all feel the same. You know, something's got to change up. Like a new mode would bring so much life to the game, and I know it would because you see other games do it. Like
True,
Apex right
true,
now,
true.
me and Ice were just playing that. We did duos. That felt completely different than doing trios, even though it's kind of the same mode. You got Call of Duty that has like S&D, free for all of that. I feel like the devs for Dead by Daylight need to look towards that because I don't know, because they came out with another game, and if you guys don't know what this game is, look this up. It's called Death Garden. Basically, Behavior came out with Death Garden that is the same concept as Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight ended up cannibalizing Death Garden, and they just shut down the servers not too long ago because it's basically the same thing. Like,
Right.
I don't know where else I was going. I lost my train of thought on that, but honestly, in my
It's all good.
opinion, I will say this: the devs need to change something up with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, for
'Cause
sure, for
right,
sure, for sure. Cause they've
If
it
I
seems
could
like
just
it's
if
been
I
the
could just say
same game for long. Yeah, go ahead.
no, finish what you were gonna
It's
say.
been the same game since it came out, basically.
Literally, I think I have two more points to say before I forget. One is that I think this was the third point I was making before. I can really commend the game because it has a very good replayability factor. The game's been out, I've had it at least for 3 years already, and I'm still playing it to this day. And I think that that's impressive on its own
you guys
because
suck me into it. That's your fault.
a lot of my complaints about other games like with Call of Duty Zombies, for example, is replayability. Like, that's the number one thing. If you can't draw me back to the game, and that was also the problem with World War Z. I think I said it right. There's no replayability after you finish the campaign. That's what kind of kills the games for me. But Dead by Daylight, for one way or another, maybe it's because of all the people I've met or because of YouTube, the social aspect of it, like, it brings you back to it even with all of these problems. And I think that if they could really just zero in and fix all these like foundational issues of the game, then the game could be like even better than it is now. And also, before I forget, I was just gonna say that the way that Cowboy was mentioning, like, playing, not having fun playing as killer or survivor because you're a high rank, I equate that to how skill-based matchmaking is right now in Call of Duty. I hear so many complaints on Call of Duty side about with the skill-based matchmaking that if you have a high KD or you're a high level, you're gonna be put together in a match with other people of the same KD and rank, and it's not fun because every single game you have to sweat 100%. There's no fun in it, basically, because every single game you have to try your hardest and stuff like that. And I feel like that with Dead by Daylight as well, being a red rank survivor. And sometimes I just want to get on because I don't want to think about it too much. I just want to play with my friends, have a good time. Yeah, get in a chase here and there, just do everything and escape, or even if I die, but just have a good time. But lately, when you play, you're always going up against the same red rank, slugging, rank 1 killers that know every nook and cranny of the game, how to, like, stop every loop, and they nerfed a lot of infinites, which is, I mean, obviously it was the right thing to do, but still, it's like survivors are being given less and less options. And then on the killer side too, it's like when you're playing against a group of rank 1 survive with friends, it's not fun either because one guy is just going to run you around the whole map and everybody else is going to be gen rushing left and right, So it's like the skill-based matchmaking, I say this loosely because skill-based matchmaking in Dead by Daylight is the ranking system. There's
They
no
got
like
two right now. They got two matchmaking systems in right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Right.
it's the MMR system, and then they got the ranking system in to where it bases you off of your own skill level, off of the previous game, and then it will throw you into another game with higher level players. That's the whole thing behind it, which I do get. And then if you do bad that one game, it will put you back with someone more around that other skill level that you were just going up against. But here's the thing, um, when you are in those high ranks, whether you're killer or survivor, it's the same play style no matter what. Even if you're a different killer, you're always just going the hell off as a killer to try to stop them from gen rushing.
Yeah.
But overall, I can basically back a lot of what Neo is saying. And Ice has been in red ranks before, so he obviously knows too, like the whole
The
deal with it
pain.
all. You
Yeah.
shall know pain.
Exactly.
Yep, yep. Alright, guys.
But
Exactly.
Gonna make y'all final points because we're gonna have to wrap it up soon. We're on time.
Okay.
yep.
If you got anything you got left to say, go on and say it before I wrap it up.